kind of dial in your sound on the fly. I had that turned down during the girls' game.
Okay. I'll probably come and do some of the girls usually, but today Coach had me doing all kinds of stuff, trying to get ready. So
No worries.
I'll try to jump in occasionally.
All right.
It's a weird, the first game is always weird.
Yeah. Good evening, sports fans, and we welcome you to a broadcast of Cascade Christian Challenger boys basketball against the Lost River Raiders. It'll be their debut for the 2021-22 campaign. A lot of teams have already got a few games in so far, but for the Challengers, this is their season debut. Usually, we kind of know here at a smaller school like Cascade Christian that the football season tends to run a little bit long, and they want to give time for some of the football players who also play basketball an opportunity to start working their way into basketball shape and be ready to join the team. So anyway, the Challengers, seeing their first action of the night. Meanwhile, Lost River, I believe they've played a couple of games so far, and they come in with a record of 1-1. They beat Lapine by 18. I suspect Lapine, not unlike Cascade, had their share of football players kind of trying to work their way in, trying to get their way into basketball shape, and then they had a loss earlier. Well, joining me in the broadcast booth this evening, Mark McLemore. And Mark, here we are. It's a brand new season, and really effectively, in a way, a brand new team for the Challengers. Quite a number of seniors gone. Are some guys that played big roles for the team last spring, and Morgan Law, Levi Marinkus. Yep. We also lost Matt McFeeters to graduation, and a number of other key contributors. We really don't have much in the way of seniors this year, so it provides an opportunity for some of the young guys to step up. And one of the guys that, of course, everybody's talking about right now, because, well, 6'11" guys don't grow on trees, and we've heard a lot about maybe how he's performed over the summer. So a lot of people are watching Austin Maurer with anticipation.
Well, and they should be. I mean, he's going to be a big part of the Challenger team and this year for sure, and he's going to be the focus of a lot of defenses. I think they're going to have to play a little bit differently against the Challengers than they have in the past due to that size. It definitely makes a difference.
Well, the Challengers only have one senior on the squad, and that is Kyle. I've done it once already this season. Cody Reese.
Cody Reese, yep.
But he's no stranger. He's been a significant part of the basketball program for about the last 2 seasons. And with him, you're going to get pickpocket defense. You're going to get penetration to the hoop, and I know he's done some work on trying to improve his outside shot. And so you got him, but then beyond that, it's like, well, we've had little brief looks at some other players who are in that mix, whether you're talking about Daniel Meering or maybe perhaps somebody like Peyton Maurer.
Yep.
But people like that, but we don't have a real fix on who this team is yet.
Well, you've also got, a couple other guys in Landon Hess, who's going to play a big role, I think, for the Challengers this year. Very improved, worked really hard over the last year to get better. And, Cannon Anderson as well are going to be guys that are going to come in. I think the rotation's going to be a bit short for the Challengers this year. You're going to see, probably that group right there, about 7 kids that are going to get, I would say, the lion's share of the playing time. That's one of the things that the Challengers are a bit concerned about is their depth. You got Brody Sample also in that group, and he's, he did not play at all last year because of his broken collarbone. So he's definitely a kid that's going to, has some time to make up, really, is what it is. So
right.
This year. So I think early in the season you probably won't see a lot of him, but as the season goes along and he continues to get better and more used to the system, he'll start playing more. So there's a group of about, basically 10 guys that are going to be playing most of the minutes, probably even as we get in the tougher games right now at the beginning of the season, maybe only 7 or 8 that are going to see time on the floor.
Well, it always seems like Coach Morris has a banger in his mix, and my guess is one guy that can ably fill that role would be Tristan Wallace.
Well, and Tristan's the guy that I think we didn't see at all last year that's really improved to the point where he'll be starting tonight. You're going to see him start, I think, for the Challengers, and he's so athletic. We saw him in football and how athletic he was, and he's really a smart player. He's picking up, it's taken him a while to pick up some of the offense and the plays and all the stuff the Challengers do because it's a pretty intricate system that they run. But as he's picked up more and more, you're really seeing his maturity improve, and he's going to be part of this team. And I think, like I said, I think you're going to see him starting along with Austin Payton, and then I think they're going to, based on, and of course Cody, those 4 are going to be the primary starter guys. And then based on the matchups, you'll see Daniel Nearing in there as the 5th guy, or you'll see Landon Hess in there, or maybe even Cannon Anderson, I think, as we start the season. Those are going to be your starters, and those are going to be the guys that get most of the playing time, I think.
Well, I think that there's no question in terms of scoring, and expectation will be that Austin Maurer will get his lion's share. There's not many people around this area that can defend a 6'11 guy, especially one that has range. I guess my question would be is, knowing what we had, because Morgan Law may have been one of the best shooters to ever come through this program, although I would include him in the same mix as people like Joel McLemore and Scotty Morris, who are, guys from days gone by. But who are going to be those guys that might be able to knock it down and be able to help spread the floor?
Well, I think Cody Reese is much improved as a shooter this year. I think you're going to see him do much better from the three-point line, along with Cannon, Anderson, and Landon Hess. And there's going to be others, but those are going to be the primary three-point shooters, I think. Landon, like I said, really worked on his game this summer, and through the last couple of years, working especially on that three-point shot. So I think he's going to come up big. And don't count Peyton Maurer out either for shooting that three. He can do it as well. So I think it'll be by committee. I don't think there's going to be one guy that you're going to say he's always going to score the three for us. I think one night it'll be one guy. Next night it'll probably be another guy. But they're going to get the ball to the guys that are hot. And that's the way they're going to run it. And I think every night there's enough shooting here around Austin, because Austin will obviously draw a lot of attention. There are going to be guys that are going to be open. And so they've got to make some shots. And I think between the entire group, they're going to find every night, they're going to find somebody that's going to help them in that category.
Well, and then as far as the team goes and the Challenger basketball program is concerned, no conversation about the team is complete unless you talk about defense, because everything Brian Morris does is based on man-to-man. Maybe you can tell us a lot. I know conditioning's a part of that, attitude's another part of that, and there's also some things in terms of technique and things that you can do in terms of your matchups and help side and double teams and working through screens like that make a difference.
Yeah, and it all starts with Cody Reese, right? I mean, he puts ball pressure on the other team's point guard to the point where they don't want to really dribble the ball up the court at some point, and it starts with Cody, but the rest of the team is very, has been working on defense a lot. And if you, as you said, over the last about 5 years, the Challengers have been the team in 3A that has given up the least amount of points of any team in 3A. And that's by playing that good, solid defense. And you're going to see that from the Challengers tonight, just like you've seen in the past. So that's always going to be a stable. And, if you play good, solid defense, the scoring will come and go. But if the defense is always there, you're always in a game. You always have a chance to come back at the end. And that's the thing about the Challenger program that's been great, is the defense has been stellar no matter what the offensive output has been.
Well, there just seems like there's a really nice blend of players there. I can remember one of the struggles that the team from 3 years ago had after a big graduating class is one of the struggles they had is they didn't have a whole lot of size. You had Nathan Spurlock at 5'11", playing in the post. It seems like here, we don't have a outside of Maurer a ton of height, but we still have guys like Wallace and Nearing and some other guys, and we'll be seeing, I'm sure, Eli Bryant down the road that will help with that.
Well, and Peyton is now 6'3", so he's not a short guy anymore either.
No.
If you remember him from last year, he's grown about 4 inches from last year, 4 or 5 inches from last year. So is he going to catch his brother? Who knows? But he would like to.
Yeah.
And he's also, being part of that football program, has picked up a lot more bulk on his body too. If you look at the two of them, you wouldn't necessarily know they're brothers based on their body types.
No.
Because Peyton has really gotten a lot stronger. He spent a lot of time in the weight room and during football season. And I'll tell you what, he's going to be a factor as we go down through this season.
Well, we look forward to getting that first look at the Challenger boys basketball team for this season. What we'll do at this point in time is we'll take a timeout for sponsorship recognition, and when we return, we'll get you ready for the start of tonight's ball game, the Challengers and the Raiders, right here on TableRockSports.net.
Finish sales event is going on now at Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford. We're stocked up on a great selection of new vehicles from Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and of course, Ram trucks. Choose from our great selection of new Jeep Grand Cherokee L4x4s. Test drive a new Ram 1500 and see why Ram is Motor Trend's back-to-back 3P Truck of the Year. And remember, we've added the convenience of test drives from your home and an online process to purchase and deliver your new vehicle. Get a big finish deal on every new vehicle in stock only at the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford Superstore.
Dear Dad, I was afraid to say this to your face, but I heard you yelling again from the stands during my game. You were shouting at the coach, the refs, even the other parents. It embarrasses me when you yell at everyone. It really stresses me out. I love sports. I love my team. I just want to play, but not if you always lose your temper. Love, Katie.
Know your role. Learn more at SouthernOregonSports.com.
Let me take just a moment and ask you about your vision for your children. What are you seeking for them? What are you hoping your son or your daughter will grow up to be? Highly skilled teaching, a thorough curriculum, art, music, science, athletics, encouraging relationships, all of these and more are part of the community at Grace Cascade Christian Schools, where all of our children feel that they belong.
Being able to mentor them on the football field, to push them in the classroom, and ultimately, most importantly, is to share Christ with them.
Life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
At 3 o'clock, Carter's campaign for class president will go live. His platform?
Thirsty for change?
Juice boxes for all. At 4, Liz will bid online and win.
Yes! Yes!
Which is why at 2, I'm down the street preparing for the storm. So no matter what, the show will go on.
Daily adventures start right here at Pinnacle 365. You'll find exactly what you need for your morning motivation. Later in the day, add some crunch to your lunch with crispy, crunchy chicken's mouth-watering chicken and chicken tenders. Wherever your next adventure takes you, we're here to keep you energized throughout the day. And our new Peak Rewards program helps you save money on fuel so you can travel further for less. Daily adventures are better with Pinnacle 365.
We're getting ready to bring you tonight's ball game between the Raiders and the Challengers. Looking at the starting lineups, first of all for the Raiders, number 33 is 6-foot sophomore Chase McAuliffe. He'll be joined by 6'3" junior post Caden Halosek. Also in the starting lineup will be Nehemiah Hernandez, 5'8" senior guard, and then 5'10" junior wing Grady Dunley. For the Challengers, senior point guard wearing number 1, Cody Reese. Joining him will be junior forward Tristan Wallace at 6 feet tall. 6'3" wing is Peyton Maurer wearing number 10. Also in the starting lineup tonight, Landon Hess wearing number 12, and then the big guy, 6'11" sophomore Austin Maurer wearing number 34. So both teams out on the floor, the Challengers in their home whites with silver numbers and mixed in with a little bit of purple, so a little bit of a new look out here.
Yeah, it's their, I would call them their sort of retro look uniforms with the shorter shorts. We're going back to that again.
Okay.
And
what goes around comes around.
Yeah, that's true. If you watch the JV game, we have their old varsity white uniforms, which have the much longer shorts. So.
All right, Maurer gets ready to jump it up. And it's controlled by the Challengers. Cody Reese drives to the hoop. He finds Hess. He lays it up and in. It's a 2-0 ball game.
Nice pass by Cody over to Landon for the easy bucket there off the tip. Worked on that a little bit in practice, the Challengers did. A little bit of it, now that they have that height, work on a little tip play.
Hernandez, Dalton, ball's loose on the floor, but running it down is McAuliffe. He's picked up by Peyton Maurer. And I'm going to tell you, one of the tricky things for me is going to be spotting the difference between Peyton Maurer, Landon Hess, and Brody Sample.
Yeah, they all kind of blend in. They're all same size kid.
About the same kind of hairstyle, so to speak. But they're going to be a lot of fun to cover and play. No doubt about that. Turnaround jumper, no good. Maurer quickly down the floor to Reese. Reese couldn't quite catch up to that throw, and ball goes out of bounds. Coming out of backcourt is Grady Dunley. The Dunley is a big part of Lost River sports over the years. Hernandez between the circles. He's got Dunley. Dunley, you can tell, is looking for somebody inside, and there's just nothing there. You got the Great Wall of Maurer over there. Hernandez up top. Dunley will fire from downtown. A shot off to the left. Offensive rebound. Caden Halasek. It's knotted up at 2 apiece.
Yeah, that time Austin Maurer switched off of Dunley and Lost River with an easy rebound putback.
Tried to feed it inside to Wallace, and it is taken away by Lost River. Dunley going to set up in the half court. I'm going to guess Lost River has no desire to get into a track meet.
Yeah, they don't.
The Challengers.
They're going to slow it down and try to play half court. You can guarantee it. And they turn the ball over there on the Grady Dunley turns the ball over there on the. Just kind of threw it out of bounds. Not exactly sure what he was doing with that one.
Reese with the basketball, past the timeline at midcourt. He's got an opening, and he'll take it. He'll go hard to the hole. His left-handed layup spins off, no good.
Partially blocked, I think, by Caden Hauslick.
Dunley to Halasek. Down in the corner it goes. Picking up his dribble is McAuliffe. In and out, and it'll be Raider basketball.
And Peyton Maurer with a nice, or Austin Maurer, with a nice block there on Hauslick.
Firing, shooting, Dunley off the window, 2. So Lost River with the early lead. Hess. And Austin Maurer, he'll shoot it, and he drains it.
Yeah, that's what he can do if you don't guard him out on the three-point line. He can knock those down and the Challengers with the lead now.
Cody Reese.
That's what Cody Reese can do, too.
Exactly. He'll steal the hubcaps off a moving car.
Yes, he will.
Kind of a Reese family tradition, remembering Kyle a few years back for the Challengers. Tristan Wall is going to come out of the ball game. Cannon Anderson checking in for Cascade. He's a 5'10 sophomore. Moving left and picking up his dribble now is McAuliffe. And the basket good by the Raiders. By Dunley. And now a turnover by the Challengers, which kind of usually first game of the season, that count can be a little bit on the high side. For both teams as far as that goes, as Anderson nearly had a pick there.
And I think we got it on.
Foul going to be called against
Peyton Maurer with the foul there, his first.
Work the ball up high to Hernandez. He'll try to move left. But Reese just right there with him step for step. And a 5-second violation against the Raiders. So we're seeing a little bit of that Challenger defense and what it can do.
Yeah, and as you said, though, the game's, it's a little bit sloppy here at the beginning, as you would kind of expect for a first game of the year, right?
For sure. Anderson dumping a pass into the low post to Maurer. Maurer, little fadeaway jumper. He drains it.
Yeah, good luck blocking that, huh, Jim?
I know I couldn't. McAuliffe out of backcourt. There's a little bit of length on this Lost River roster. McAuliffe trying to drive on Maurer, but there is Peyton with a great defense. Cannon Anderson going quickly the other way. He misses on the layup, but we have a whistle and a foul called against Lost River, and that'll send Anderson to the free throw line. Anderson, one of several players on this Challenger basketball, that they're kind of basketball-only guys.
Yeah, and a lot of them are sophomores when you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Sophomores and a couple of juniors like Landon Hess.
But what you have is you can tell that these guys have, even at a young age, kind of have a certain polish to their game. Daniel Naring checking into the lineup for the Challengers. Second free throw attempt, that's good. So I guess we're getting the question answered real quickly about whether or not the Challengers can shoot the basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can knock down your free throws, you can knock it down from the field. Generally speaking. Steal by Reese. Reese quickly out of backcourt. He's going hard to the hole, coast to coast. His shot no good, but there with the cleanup is Austin Maurer. Meanwhile, quickly going the other way, Nathan Dalton. Timeout called. We will do the same. It's 11-6 on your John L. Scott scoreboard, and we'll be back shortly.
Life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Back here at the Cascade Christian Pavilion, Jim McCoy along with Mark McLemore, our cameraman Wyatt Rainey. Challengers with 3:11 to go in the first, and a 5-point lead.
Nice start for the Challengers. 4 for 6 from the field here to start the game.
Wallace back in the ball game for Cascade. And a shot from downtown by Dunley. It is short, no good. Out there is the big man himself, Maurer, quickly up the floor. Nice touch pass there. Now goes back out to Maurer. He's unconscious.
And you got to guard him all the time, no matter where he is on the court. Great play by Cody Reese, saving that one back to Landon Hess. And then the ball reversal to the trailer. You got to love it.
Well, I got to love the fact that with video streaming, that rather than try to get tongue-tangled to explain it, people can see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice play there, though, by Reese. And just a nice little touch pass there. Anderson knew exactly what to do. And that's only going to get better as the year goes on.
That's exactly right. Good defense there by Tristan.
And there to round it up is Daniel Nearing as he gets it back to Cody Reese. Swings it to Maurer. Maurer going to drive to the hole, and he lays it up and in.
Maurer with 12 of Cascade 16.
Meanwhile, going the other way for the Raiders, shot by Logan Derry ends up out of bounds. Checking back in for Cascade is Peyton Maurer. And to give his brother a breather, you kind of look at him and you go, they don't look the fraternal twins.
Yeah.
As you might have guessed.
Austin 5 for 5 from the field to start the game.
Oh, my goodness. And meanwhile, ball's loose on the floor. Challengers lose the handle on it. It's taken out of backcourt by Connor Dunley. Works for Grady Dunley, and now ball's loose on the floor.
And Cody Reese going to pick up a foul.
Both teams, prior to the play, with one team foul each. Inbound, they'll swing it around to Connor Dunley. In the corner it goes to Derry. Derry will shoot from 15, in and out. And Reese is there with the rebound. Cody Reese wheels and deals. He has Wallace there, kicks it back out to his cousin Peyton. Now Reese will fire from downtown, rolls around and off. Nearing had it there for a second, couldn't hold on. And the Raiders come away with it with 1:17 to go in the first. McCullough for the basketball. Now to Grady Dunley. With two Dunleys in the game, I'm just going to call him by the first name, so you'll hear Grady, who's number 23, and then you'll hear Connor, who's number 3. Landon Hess back into the ball game. Nearing will come out. (16-6) your score. Anderson at the point. Swings it for Wallace. Wallace will go ahead and drive. And again, I talked about him kind of being that guy that fills that banger role. But you know, as thinking about the guys who have kind of played that role over the years for the Challengers, I would say he's actually probably one of the most athletic ones we've ever had.
Yeah, he's kind of filling that Mountain Dew role from last year. If
exactly.
You remember what Mountain Dew did.
Oh, yes. Braden Coppage. Go out and do the dirty work. With the basketball is Connor. Turnaround pass. Nice work inside, and Derry can't get a shot to go. Gets his own rebound, and there is Austin Maurer with the defense. He's going to go ahead and take it. Goes coast to coast. He throws it down. 18-6. Connor with the basketball. Grady's going to shoot from the baseline. It ends up hitting every part of the top of the backboard before it is ruled out. And with 10.4 seconds to go in the first.
A pretty nice quarter for the Challengers. 18 points are already here in the quarter. And really pulled away since the first couple of minutes where it was close.
Anderson, Maurer, going with the right hand with a drive to the hoop. Peyton Maurer, a lefty going with the right hand. And the Challengers lead 20-6. As you can see on your John L. Scott scoreboard, we'll take a timeout. And we'll be back with more basketball action here on Table Rock Sports.
You're a coach or plan to be a coach. What kind of coach do you want to be? This?
Hey! What is that? Come on, guy! You're killing me!
Or this?
I love it. I love what I see. I don't care about the mistakes. Everybody making mistakes. Guys making millions of dollars on Sunday. They make mistakes.
Know your role. Learn more at southernoregonsports.org.
There's a time machine, not so far away, that takes you back to a world just a few streets wide, where wonder rules the day, and families are transformed, from the smallest bug-eyed explorer to that surliest know-it-all. So dive into the past and let them see the world through a simpler lens, called Southern Oregon. Their adventure begins when you travel Medford.
Getting ready to start the second quarter here at the Cascade Christian Pavilion. Jim McCoy along with Mark McLemore. And, Austin Maurer may be all of that in the bag of chips.
Yeah, not too bad. A 14-point quarter for Austin Maurer to start this year for the Challengers. That's a pretty nice quarter for anybody.
Third leading scorer on last year's team, and kind of a little bit more of a low-key role with the balance than the leadership that the Challengers
So the Challengers
have.
in the 1-3-1 trap now.
As if the opposition did not have more things to worry about. Grady Dunley, and a turnover by Lost River.
McAuliffe stepped out of bounds over by the sideline. That Challenger pressure in this 1-3-1 trap, we've seen it a lot over the last several years, has really been tough.
Austin for Landon. Hess drives the baseline, his shot off target, but there to round it up is Peyton Maurer. Now it'll kick it out. Austin going to shoot from long range. He's got 17.
Nice assist by Cody Reese that time.
Well, that's been a trademark of the Challenge. Good teamwork. Cody always one of the team leaders in assists every year. Now a steal by Maurer. Peyton, that is. Peyton feeds it down to Wallace, and Wallace just a little bit too much. You know, he's a baseball player, plays a lot of catcher, and I think he was thinking that he needed to go throw somebody out at second base.
Yeah, exactly.
Quick timeout called on the floor. We will do the same. Stick around for more basketball action here on Table Rock Sports.
Let me take just a moment and ask you about your vision for your children. What are you seeking for them? What are you hoping your son or your daughter will grow up to be? Highly skilled teaching, a thorough curriculum, art, music, science, athletics, encouraging relationships, all of these and more are part of the community at Grace Cascade Christian Schools, where all of our children feel that they belong.
Being able to mentor them on the football field, to push them in the classroom, and ultimately, most importantly, is to share Christ with them.
Back here at the Cascade Christian Pavilion, the Challengers, well, it's been that kind of day for them. Really, the only close game we've seen today, the girls' JV game went to overtime, which the Challengers won by 6. Your JV squad and your JV head coach this year, and your boys had a commanding victory.
Yeah, 43-21, and just about everybody got in the scoring column, which you love to see as a coach.
Inbound play, ball ends up going out of bounds, and again, more evidence. It's just disruptive. It's
7 turnovers already for Lost River here early in this one, and yeah, the Challengers just keep putting the pressure on you. They're not going to let up on that, and that's just the way they played over the last, since Brian Morris has been coaching here.
And that's been some time now. Coach Morris in his 33rd season at Cascade. Around the horn it goes. Peyton with the drive to the hoop, and that is tipped away. Good defense there by the Raiders. And Halasek. They'll swing it inside, but there to break up the pass. Good work defensively by Hess. Ball's tipped around. Halasek tied up by Cody Reese. Jump ball the call on the alternating possession. It's going the Challengers' way.
Yeah, nice hustle that time by Austin to get back and disrupt that first shot, and Challengers get the basketball back after the jump.
Reese set things up now, and he's got an opening. He's going to go hard to the hole. He lays it up and in.
And I think that's what you're going to see a lot more of this year with Cody Reese. He's become much, much better at attacking the rim, and right there he shows you what he can do if you let him get inside.
Well, and he's just coming back from an injury. He's had he would have probably played football this year had it not been for a shoulder
surgery, and so he's still working himself back into shape. But he's starting to look better and better as we've been practicing the last few weeks, and really is a team leader too, on this team.
Well, you can always see it in the hallways at school that he's just one of those guys that. Definitely not afraid to speak his mind and address what's going on.
Foul that time on Austin Maurer, and that's his first one.
So that's 3 team fouls for the Challengers now, and that will send Chase McAuliffe to the free throw line, and he converts the three-point play. Coming out of backcourt is Hess to Peyton. Passes to Austin. Tristan Wallace. Landon going to cut to the hoop now, but Austin says, I'll just take matters in my own hands. And you're not going to block that.
No, I don't know how you're going to.
I mean, out there for him, every look's going to be a good look. 29-9. Passing the post, and there to break it up is Austin Maurer. So he gets it done on D as well. Meanwhile, Challengers, they get a little excitable, and they throw it away.
Yeah, that's the part. You get the turnover, you got to take care of the basketball after that, and the Challengers turn it right back over.
5:51 left to go in the first half of play. And it is Grady Dunley to his brother Connor. Pass for McAuliffe. Now over in the corner, the short corner jumper there by Grady, no good. Pass on the break. Hess manages to corral it, gains control. Maurer shoots again, in and out, no good.
First miss of the night for him. I didn't want to jinx him up into that point.
Unbelievable. What an incredible night he's had to open his sophomore campaign. He's a sophomore. Connor with a basketball. Looking down low for Hernandez. Cross-court pass. Nice-looking play, and Derry couldn't get it to go.
And then Austin overthrows the pass.
So Austin going to come out for a well-deserved break, and Cannon Anderson was going to check into the ball game. Daniel Nearing is in there, wearing number 50. Connor. Really nowhere to go. Passes to big brother Grady. Works it inside to Hernandez. Nice passing, nice teamwork. And off the window, the Raiders score. That was Dalton with the make. Meanwhile, Hernandez and Cody Reese exchanging pleasantries over on the other side. Foul called against Hernandez. And a timeout with 4:30 left to go in the first half. On your John L. Scott scoreboard, it is the Challengers 29 and the Raiders 11. We'll be right back.
At 3 o'clock, Carter's campaign for class president will go live. His platform?
Thirsty for change?
Juice boxes for all. At 4, Liz will bid online and win.
Yes! Yes!
Which is why at 2, I'm down the street preparing for the storm. So no matter what, the show will go on.
Daily adventures start right here at Pinnacle 365. You'll find exactly what you need for your morning motivation. Later in the day, add some crunch to your lunch with crispy, crunchy chicken's mouth-watering chicken and chicken tenders. Wherever your next adventure takes you, we're here to keep you energized throughout the day. And our New Peak Rewards program helps you save money on fuel so you can travel further for less. Daily adventures are better with Pinnacle 365.
Back here at the Cascade Christian Pavilion, I really have to say, Mark, I'm impressed by the turnout of Lost River fans that have traveled over from the Klamath Basin to come out there to support their team. They knew this was going to be an uphill battle tonight. And I'm sure that probably if it not for the fact he was doing it to their team, that watching Austin play is almost worth the price of admission.
Yeah, it's just one of those deals where, especially on a weeknight, you love to see the fans come out.
They're on the drive. They're going to go ahead and call an offensive foul against Cannon Anderson.
Actually, a travel, I think, is what they called. Still, that's the Challengers' seventh turnover. So the Challengers have a little trouble, as you would sort of expect in a first game with traveling as well, turning the ball over.
Halosek, pass taken away by Reese. Here goes Reese to the hole. He lays it up and in. Challengers now up by 20 with 3:52 left to go in the first half of play. Connor for Halosek, and while he's in the process of he took steps as he tried to deliver the ball, and they'll call him for the travel. Peyton Maurer going to the Challenger bench. Tristan Wallace is in along with Daniel Nearing wearing number 50. Austin Maurer wearing number 34. Cannon Anderson number 3. And Cody Reese number 1. Nearing, Maurer, and a shot off to the left, no good. Ball's tipped around, and it is taken away by Dalton. Dalton interrupted a little bit there by Reese, and probably just enough to kind of throw him off.
Yeah, he did. Reese with a good job of just getting in Dalton's head a little bit as he tried to steal the ball from him on his last couple of steps to the hoop, and then there ends up being a foul against Halosek, and he's going to sit down. That's his second.
Logan Derry checking into the ball game, wearing number 10 and growing a better beard than I can. Cody Reese delivers it over for Anderson. Maybe kind of rushed the shot just a little bit there, and I think we may have drawn rain outside.
Well, it almost looked like it was tipped, but I guess it wasn't. To me, it looked like maybe it got tipped right after it left his hand, but
Connor driving to the hoop, misses the shot. Nearing with the outlet to Maurer. Austin drives. Oh, that's a sweet-looking move. And you think, well, yeah, of course he's supposed to be good. He's 6'11", but you know, one of the things that really jumped out at me during the summer, you know, in August, some of the staff at school are coming back a little bit early to do things, and I don't know how many times you'd find him here in the mornings, in the evenings. He's the very definition of a gym rat. Landon Hess going to check into the ball game for Cascade. Cannon passes to Reese. Reese will drive the baseline against Hernandez. Sweet-looking reverse move, and he scores.
6 points now for Reese. Doing a much better job here in the second quarter of attacking the rim.
McAuliffe now gets it up top. 35-11 actually is what it should be here. I'll get that correction made. Going the wrong direction here. And a nice shot by Lost River to keep themselves.
Nice job by McAuliffe there. Really nice little head fake drive and a good jumper.
Meanwhile, Cody Reese. He averaged about 6 or 7 points a ball game last season, and it's kind of, you know, that's been his MO throughout very much a pass-first point guard. But definitely you can tell he's looking for it a little bit more this year. Meanwhile, working out of backcourt, Reese, but then again, what are you going to do when your team has the likes of Morgan Law and Matt Feeders?
Yeah, a lot of shooters on that team last year.
Yeah.
So Cody didn't need to score. I think you're going to see him pick that up a little bit this year. And Cody Reese just called for an offensive foul there. And Lost River gets the ball back.
Derry going to shoot from the free throw line. He knocks it down. Logan Derry with 1:09 left to go in the first half of play. Reese against Hernandez. Lays it up with the left hand. The attempt won't go, but he is fouled. But one thing he has always been able to do, even though he wasn't always a high percentage shooter, one thing he could always do is, dare I say it, knock his free throws down.
Yeah. Bad timing on that one, Jim. But he got the first one.
In spite of me. Peyton Maurer checking in as Tristan Wallace goes out. And there's a second attempt coming. And that one's good.
Well, you didn't jinx him. 3 for 3 from the line so far for Cody. He's got 11 points now here in the first half.
Well, I'll just make sure I don't make that mistake again. Connor to Hernandez. Between the circles, guarded by Reese, who's feeling it in every sense of the word here in this second quarter. But that Challenger defense, they're just sealing off the middle.
No easy ones. That's the goal of the Challenger defense.
Well, so far, and I know they like to keep it under 10 points a quarter, and thus far they've been successful in that endeavor.
Yes, they have, and from a defensive standpoint, they've done a pretty good job. Offensively, obviously, Austin has put up a lot of points, and Cody Reese, and those were kind of figuring to be the two leaders in scoring this year.
Reese against Hernandez. He gets a screen, goes to the hoop. It's good. 41-15 now. McAuliffe with the heave. His shot no good, and that will end the first half of play. The Cascade Christian Challengers in the driver's seat on this one. It is Cascade Christian 41, the Lost River Raiders 15. We'll take a timeout, pause for messages, and then when we return, we'll bring you our halftime report, complete with stats and much more, right here on TableRockSports.net.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
This year, don't just replace your windows, renew them with beautiful and energy-efficient windows from Bill's Glass. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home or auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
16 for 25 in the first half.
Finish sales event is going on now at Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford. We're stocked up on a great selection of new vehicles from Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and of course, Ram trucks. Choose from our great selection of new Jeep Grand Cherokee L4x4s. Test drive a new Ram 1500 and see why Ram is Motor Trend's back-to-back-to-back 3P Truck of the Year. And remember, we've added the convenience of test drives from your home and an online process to purchase and deliver your new vehicle. Get a big finish deal on every new vehicle in stock only at the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford Superstore.
Dear Dad, I was afraid to say this to your face, but I heard you yelling again from the stands during my game. You were shouting at the coach, the refs, even the other parents. It embarrasses me when you yell at everyone. It really stresses me out. I love sports. I love my team. I just want to play. But not if you always lose your temper. Love, Katie.
Know your role. Learn more at southernoregonsports.com.
Back here at the Cascade Christian Pavilion, Jim McCoy along with Mark McLemore and Wyatt Rainey. And what a half of basketball for Cascade Christian Challenger fans as they roar out to a 26-point halftime lead. And it's been an incredible first half. A lot of the things that you expect to see from the Challengers, we've seen. That they'll play that pressure defense and will create opportunities for themselves out on the break. And then, well, Austin Maurer, we knew he would be good. I don't know if we knew he'd be quite as good as he's shown early on. And also a guy that's been a bit of a revelation in terms of his offensive output compared to what we've seen in the past. Cody Reese also with a big second quarter. And when you couple that with all the other guys mixing in here and there to balance things out, it makes for quite a team.
Yeah, it really does. And when you have one guy that shoots 9 for 10.
Yeah.
9 for 10, and 4 of them are threes.
Oh, my goodness.
So
well, that's the thing. It's not like dunks. It's not like, No,
he's 4 for 5 from 3. The one he missed was a 3. But he's got 22 points in the first half.
Aye.
And so, anyway, nice job by Austin Maurer in the first half with those 22 points. First, we'll look a little bit at Lost River. Lost River shot 7 for 23 in the first half. That's 30%. They were 1 for 1 from the free throw line. And they did have 12. The Challengers forced 12 turnovers. So that's a big part of the game right there is the Challengers forcing those turnovers. Not that they didn't have a few of their own as well. Challengers with 9 turnovers in the half, excuse me. So both of those numbers very inflated, more along the lines of what you would normally see for a full game, not just for a half. So we'll see if the turnovers are cleaned up a little bit in the second half. But right now, the Challengers with 9 turnovers, Lost River with 12. Scoring for Lost River, Logan Derry has 2. Nathan Dalton has 2. Grady Dunley with 4. Chase McAuliffe has 5. And Caden Hauslick has 2. So that's all the scoring for Lost River in the first half. For Cascade Christian, they shot 16 for 25. That's 64% for the half. That's a pretty amazing half, actually, for the Challengers. But when, again, one guy shoots 9 for 10, that's Austin Maurer. He was 9 for 10 in the half and had 22 points for Cascade Christian. They were also 5 for 5 from the free throw line, which has somewhat been an unusual statistic. The Challengers have sometimes struggled from the line, but not so far tonight. 5 for 5. And they did have those 9 turnovers we mentioned. Scoring for the Challengers, Cody Reese, most of the damage in the second quarter, had 13 points so far. Cannon Anderson with a pair of free throws. Peyton Maurer had 2. Landon Hess with 2. And as we said, Austin Maurer with those 22 to lead the way for Cascade Christian. And I kind of expect this to be somewhat of a recipe for the Challengers for most of the season. You're going to see Cody Reese attacking the rim from the perimeter. You're going to see Austin Maurer shooting the ball from all over the court. And I think those are going to be the Challenger 2 primary scorers as we go throughout the season.
Well, I tell you what, and you think one senior on the squad and all of this going on, and you think to yourself, that not only does this year look good, but the future of this program looks solid going forward. And again, so many of these weapons are still works in progress.
Yeah, they really are. A lot of growth's going to be happening over the next couple of years with these guys, and it's going to be interesting to see guys like Peyton Maurer. How tall is he going to end up being? He's still growing. Landon Hess has been, as I mentioned, gotten a lot better over the last year. Same thing with Cannon Anderson. He's been working a lot. You saw some improvement from him tonight. And then Tristan is going to continue to get better as well as he learns more of the Challenger offense terminology and all those kinds of things. Because being new to the program, there's a lot to learn for him as well. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of upside for this team. Coach is always, talking about, being conservative, doing the right things. And I think you're going to see with this team that they may encounter some early season losses, but they're going to build as they get toward the state tournament, and they're going to be quite a force to be reckoned with by the time we get around to tournament time.
It's really interesting to kind of see early on what the expectations are of the Oregon 3A. One guy that I've kept in touch with over the years is David Henry up at Westside Christian, and they're off to an electric start. You can tell he's just brimming with an excitement about his team, and I guess the coaches poll, they have them at number 1 right now, Challengers at number 3, but you look around, it's like, they're kind of, gone from being a competitive team to being an upper-tier team now. But then you look at some of the other guys, it's like, I think I've seen some of these guys before, like Dayton and
Santiam, and
Santiam
the usual suspects are also around. So, De La Salle. So it'll be interesting to see how the season plays out. And I think for this team, you mentioned very young, starting basically 3 sophomores and a couple of juniors and a senior. So, in that top 6, and really, it'll be interesting to see how it progresses as the year goes along. But I really expect this team to make some good strides, to really take those steps and build toward that run into the state tournament.
Well, we're talking about some top teams, and one of the ways that they're going to grow, and of course looking at our broadcast schedule coming up as we're committing right now to doing the home games on Table Rock Sports. It's going to be quiet for a little period of time, but here in about 9 days it'll be a trip to Philomath, and there's the Les Schwab South Coast Classic for a couple of times. But I want to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about the Christmas Classic coming up, the big tournament that happens right here at the Pavilion every year.
Well, it's going to happen not just at the Pavilion this year, but also over at the new grade school. Both gyms over there are going to be packed as well with teams, as we could have as many as we're still trying to fill out some of the JV and JV2 brackets, but we could have as many as 48 teams in this year's tournament.
Oh, my goodness.
And there'll be a full varsity tournament, boys and girls, going on here at the Pavilion, but there'll also be a full JV tournament for boys and girls and a full JV2 and or freshman tournament also going on over at Grace. So it's going to be a wild ride for those 3 days in December like it normally is.
Well, can you tease us a little bit about maybe a little bit of a preview about who's going to be in there? I know there's always been a nice mix of some good local teams to watch, but also some of the top 3 teams.
So we got Dayton, Santiam Christian, Crater, of course, Phoenix, Hidden Valley's in the tournament this year. So there's a good group of teams from all over. And it's going to be very competitive, very competitive. Klamath Union boys are also in the tournament, which is a pretty good team as well. So it should be a lot of fun, and as usual, a very competitive tournament.
You bet. So that's the Christmas Classic. That's coming up. It's going to be a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday tournament this year, with Christmas falling on a Saturday this year.
Yeah, so it's the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd.
So stick around, stay tuned for more details on that as they come up. Opening moments of the second half. The Raiders start out with the basketball. Working for McAuliffe on the left wing. He'll go ahead and swing it, try to get around to the free throw line, but Peyton Maurer there with a good defense. And Dunley loses a handle on the basketball. Is Landon Hess with it, feeds it back to Reese. He glides to the hoop. They tried a little razzle-dazzle, but Maurer misses the dunk. And we have a traveling call against the Challengers.
And that seems to be the theme of this game a little bit. Both teams turning the ball over a bit, and then, Challengers not able to convert that time.
Grady Dunley, the pass broken up. Where did Reese come from? And here he goes, like a bullet train.
And another turnover for Lost River, sort of their undoing so far in this one.
Could you imagine a foot race between him and Christian Freilich?
Yeah, I don't know. It would be close, I think.
Hernandez, bounce pass. I think, in recent lore, he's probably one of the fastest guys. Freilich was one of the fastest guys I'd seen. But what we just saw here on the floor with Reese, that was insane.
Yeah, he came from nowhere to get that ball tipped and get
Well,
the interception.
And you think he's at max speed, then he hits a higher gear.
And again, the Challengers not giving you anything easy. Even inbounding the ball in the corner, not easy against the Cascade Christian Challengers.
Inbound by Dalton. McAuliffe with it. Now to Connor Dunley. Swings a cross-court pass. And there's just nothing there on the inside. And you got quite a collection of Challenger players, all of them defensive threats in each their own way. Dalton swings it over. And they'll try to kick it back out, but there's another steal by Cody Reese. Reese out of backcourt, shovels a pass to Austin Maurer, kind of loses the handle on it as he tries to work his way through the paint. Hernandez with it now. Bounce pass over for McAuliffe. Connor. And Peyton caught dead to rights there. Little contact.
Pick up his second foul, and I think we're going to see Cannon Anderson in the game.
Anderson in for Hess. And another steal by Reese. He wheels and deals out of backcourt. Ball's loose, and he manages to track it down. He'll go ahead and kick it out for Anderson. He'll fire from three. His shot short. No good. Kind of looked like he kind of short-armed it a little bit. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Raider basketball.
Well, and when you play like those guys do up front, those guards, with the ball pressure, you have to rotate them. Challengers do a good job of rotating the guards and keeping the pressure on.
McAuliffe pulls up and shoots. He scores. So what we have now is, well, actually not far from what we had for the score for the girls' game. The Challenger girls won their first game tonight, 45-16 over the Raiders, with Jordan Jones, a freshman, leading the way with 20 points. Reese with the basketball. McAuliffe there with the defense for Lost River.
Trying to get it to Austin down low, and he tipped out of bounds by McAuliffe.
And in for the Challengers,
Mason Hoffman in the game.
getting his first look of the night. Nephew of volleyball coach Rob Klecker. Challengers again with more good defense. Lost River comes up dry on that possession. Now it's Austin Maurer with the basketball. He'll drive hard to the hole. It rolls around and down.
And he knows what to do with it when he gets it down in the paint area.
McAuliffe. Little runner, no good. Reese with the rebound. He is everywhere in this game. Quickly up the floor. Outlets to
Traveling by
Tristan Wallace.
And I think there's been a plethora of turnovers in this game by both teams.
Yes.
And there's
Cody,
another one.
That's at least 4 steals for him in the quarter, and maybe got a little cute there, and they miss on it. Dalton with the basketball against Wallace. Connor going to pass it away for Dalton. And double dribble. Landon Hess and Daniel Nearing getting ready to check into the ball game. Cody got to go refuel the tank.
Yeah, I think so. And a little bit of ugly basketball for the last couple of minutes. Both teams turning the ball over. Nobody really scoring any points. And see if the new guys coming in. Oh, coach is going to call timeout. I think that's a good timeout.
Timeout called on the floor. John L. Scott scoreboard. 3:40 to go in the third. Challengers lead in this one, 45-17. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
o'clock, Carter's campaign for class president will go live. His platform?
Thirsty for change?
Juice boxes for all. At 4, Liz will bid online and win.
Yes! Yes!
Which is why at 2, I'm down the street preparing for the storm. So no matter what, the show will go on.
Daily adventures start right here at Pinnacle 365. You'll find exactly what you need for your morning motivation. Later in the day, add some crunch to your lunch with crispy, crunchy chickens, mouth-watering chicken, and chicken tenders. Wherever your next adventure takes you, we're here to keep you energized throughout the day. And our new Peak Rewards program helps you save money on fuel so you can travel further for less. Daily adventures are better with Pinnacle 365.
3:40 to go in the third here at the Cascade Christian Pavilion. Opening night of the basketball campaign for Cascade Christian.
And so far, the Challengers doing a great job of taking care of business.
Yes, they are. Nearing has it in the low post, and he's surrounded. He'll kick it back out to Austin Maurer.
I don't think you want to help off of Austin Maurer at the three-point line. He's kind of proved that he can make that one.
No, he must be accounted for at all times. McAuliffe on the drive to the hoop. Nice-looking shot. Can't get it to go. Out of backcourt is Anderson. He'll feed it back to Maurer. Maurer, though, has his shot rejected by Halasek. It's a little early season highlight for the Lost River forward. Dalton backs in against Austin Maurer. They'll kick it out. Dalton going to fire from 3. His shot, nothing but air. Nearing there for the rebound. He'll outlet for Anderson. He's going to go ahead and drive to the hole. Hits it underneath kind of hit the bottom of the rim.
I'm trying to work with him on shooting that shot before he gets to the defense instead of taking it all the way in.
And a steal by Anderson. Anderson glides to the hole. He lays it up and in. Cannon Anderson.
First bucket of the night for Cannon. He's got a couple of free throws to go with it for 4 points.
And it looks like Coach Morris looking to go deeper on his bench. McAuliffe off the glass. It's good. Foul called against the Challengers.
And McAuliffe's had a sudden surge. He's got 6 points here in the quarter and 9 in the game.
Peyton Maurer, Tristan Wallace, and Brody Sample checking in for his first time tonight.
Yeah, Brody played a little bit in the JV game earlier. Did a nice job for us.
Free throw attempt, no good. Nearing with a rebound. Outlets for Peyton Maurer with 1:41 to go in the quarter. Hess brings it back out. Swings it for Sample. Sample drives hard, and and he was one of those guys. He ended up making the 3A All-State football team.
Oh, good.
As a wide receiver, and showing off some of that quickness there.
Had a great year for the Challengers.
Well, and guess what? He's back for more next year.
Yep.
First free throw attempt, no good. Then he'll get another. He's in there now with Tristan Wallace, Daniel Naring, Peyton Maurer, and Landon Hess. Second free throw attempt is off target. Helisek there with a rebound. Swing it for Grady Dunley. Pass over to Cody Lineman, who's in the ball game. And that's going to go against Landon Hess.
Just his first foul.
Well, it's been one nice thing. The foul trouble hasn't plagued them early on in the year.
No, it hasn't. They're playing good, solid defense and not fouling. We like to see that. For the Challengers, that's a good sign.
Dunley to O'Brien, who's in the ball game. Emmett O'Brien wearing number 1. Swing it. Dunley. Pass nearly broken up by Nearing. But Halusek there. Quickly up the floor it goes to Maurer. Maurer clobbered as he makes his move to the hoop.
That's going to be on Halusek, I'm pretty sure.
Second team foul for the Raiders. Inbound to Wallace. Wallace tries to muscle his way to the hoop, but McAuliffe is there, says not going to be that easy.
No, but he did foul him and send Tristan to the line, so at least he'll get a try and make a couple from the foul line.
Tristan Wallace, about 6'1", 200 pounds. Leading rusher for the Challengers during football season. First free throw attempt, a little flat. No good, remains 50-21.
I guess I jinxed him with the halftime 5 for 5. They haven't made one since.
Oh, no. Well, he'll get another shot at. And that misses its mark, and out of bounds it goes. 40 seconds left to go in the third. Challengers lead 50-21. Lost River with the basketball in their lineup. McAuliffe, number 33. Grady Dunley, number 23. Number 1 is Emmett O'Brien. Halusek, number 42. And number 2 is Cody Lineman. Lyman, among many others, making their first appearance of the evening. Inbound goes to Dunley, guarded by Sample. Misses the shot. Sample gets the rebound. Works out of traffic. Mason Hoffman making a move and kicks it out for Hess. Hess to Wallace, and Wallace starts to take a shot, and good defense there by Lost River. Sample will inbound underneath. Hoffman shoots from downtown. His shot way long, no good. Wallace with the offensive rebound, and he tries to make a move. They're going to wave off the attempt, and that will end the third quarter of play. Your John L. Scott scoreboard showing the Challengers up 50-21. Will return after this timeout on TableRockSports.net.
Life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Christian Pavilion. We're going into the fourth quarter. The Challengers firmly on top on this one, but as you can see, they'll start working more players into the game, and that kind of changes the flow of the game a little bit. Yep. Maybe a little less flow to the game at times, but this is, part of, for one thing, you don't want to just go out and run up the score on somebody, but by the same token, you also want to get those players who need that seasoning and experience, a shot to get out there and do that.
Yeah, exactly. And as Brian typically does, you'll see him start this fourth quarter with his starters, the guys that started the game, and then you'll slowly see him start to infuse other players into the basketball game after that.
Getting set to inbound, Landon Hess. wearing number 12. He'll inbound to Maurer, and they'll work it underneath for Reese. Reese lays it up and in, and he's fouled.
Love that play. A little back pick for Cody Reese and a lob from Austin Maurer. Exactly the opposite of what you would think.
Exactly.
And Cody elevates and taps that in and gets fouled.
Reese at the charity stripe. His shot is up, and it is good.
4 for 4 for Cody Reese from the free throw line tonight.
If I'm not mistaken, he's got to be up around 16 points right now. They shot no good by Derry. Rebound by Austin Maurer. Quickly up the floor it goes. Now to Wallace from the baseline. His shot no good. Rebound taken by Dunley. And now shooting from downtown, missing the shot, is Lyman. .7:19 and counting to go in the ball game.
Yeah, a new rule comes into play for the new OSAA rule. If you wonder why the clock's going to run the rest of the game, it's once it's a 30-point lead, they run the clock continuously.
Interesting. Not far afield from what we see in football. A nice drive to the hoop. Landon Hess showing off his quickness. Austin Maurer kind of got in the way of that pass, but it's tipped around, and Dunley going to try a shot. It's loose, and he collects it. McAuliffe with the drive. His shot hard off the glass. Reese, and that wasn't real cool. And that there was just a kind of a tangle up there. A little bit of contact that may have been a little bit overdone.
Well, a little bit of frustration, which you can probably understand.
I appreciate that, yeah.
Just a little bit.
.55-21 ball game with 6:07 and counting. Again, the clock running now, as Mark mentioned, with a 30-plus point lead. Reese will walk it up the floor. He's had a tremendous night. Wallace. Now feed inside and kick it out for Maurer. Now to Reese. I'll swing it to Maurer. Maurer with a little hook. And it's good. Austin Maurer. He had 22 points in the first half on 9 of 10 shooting. Now the night shift getting ready to check in for the challengers.
He's got 29 right now.
Well, I believe the school record is either 36 or 39 by a challenger who shall remain nameless. And I think that record's going to be safe for a while, as it has been for a long time.
Yes.
A very long time. Meanwhile, shot from the baseline, no good. And a timeout called by the challengers. We'll go ahead and keep it right here. And again, kind of a neat thing this evening. Many of you may remember while my son was wrapping up high school in the spring, he did camera work for us. And joining us in the broadcast booth tonight, his first broadcast as cameraman, is junior Wyatt Rainey, student at Cascade, and kind of a jack of all trades. He's into golf. He's played some soccer. He likes motorcycles. He plays guitar. I don't know if there's really much of anything else he doesn't do. Oh, and he plays drums too.
Why not?
We welcome aboard. We just got a text from the big guy, Joe Brett, and he said to make sure to tell Wyatt that he did an excellent job on his first piece of camera work this evening. And I tell you, more than anything else, I'm just glad that I don't have to do it.
Yeah, kind of hard to talk and run the camera at the same time, right?
It's hard enough to run the graphics.
Yes.
And do play-by-play at the same time.
Or to do stats.
And color at the same, yeah. Yeah, you learn who says men can't multitask. Brody Sample knocks it down. 59-21. Looking for Halisack, but it ends up going out of bounds. 4:30 left to go in the ball game. And Daniel Naring is going to come in, and Ken Anderson's going to take a breather. Also checking in and getting a look.
It's Ben White.
Ben White. His sister Liz, a mainstay in the Challenger basketball program for the last 4 years, and he's grown.
Yep.
He looks like he's filled out some, too. But I tell you what, even if he has half of his sister's talent, he'll be another nice piece for the Challengers.
And Dylan Westlake in the game, too,
for
Cascade Christian.
Generously listed at 5'8". Brody Sample. But I tell you what, he may be 5'8", but he's got the heart of a lion.
And he was outstanding in the JV game.
Well, he just goes out and gets after it.
So quick.
Well, he played goalie for us on the soccer team as a freshman, and he's small for a goalie, but he was a beast back there in the net. He's just not afraid. 59-21. I think with him, and a lot of times with these younger players, a lot of the big battles going to be just in developing that confidence. And just
Absolutely.
recognizing I can do it. And when you're shooting that ball, it's like, I'm shooting it because I know I can make it.
That's exactly right.
Sample on the drive, feeds Naring, and the big lefty knocks it down. Got a couple of southpaw shooters on this roster between Naring and Peyton Maurer. Meanwhile, in and out on the attempt by Dalton. White with a rebound. Ben pulls up. Now for Naring. Naring thinks he's going to go inside and said, not so fast, big guy. Going the other way. Grady Dunley to the hoop. And he gets the hoop and the horn. 61-23. With 2:20, and again, we keep that running clock. And the free throw rolls around and down. And you can tell that Grady is definitely one of those team leaders along with Halasek for Lost River. 2A school. Brody Sample. He's going to pull up and shoot from the free throw line off to the right. Clock keeps rolling. Driving to the hoop is Dalton. And he kisses it off the window. 4-2. 61-28. White. He even wears the same number his sister did. Meanwhile, shooting it from the free throw line, that is
Dylan Westlake.
Now, he's a lefty, but he shoots right-handed.
Yeah, go figure that one out.
Well, there was that whole crazy deal with Hayden Shawn a few years back. And
McAuliffe with another make. He's been the one guy that's made some shots tonight for Lost River.
Naring, he's going to shoot from the free throw line off to the left, no good. I suspect here in the second half that 64% shooting percentage has probably been whittled down some.
You think? Probably in jeopardy there.
I think so. So it'll be another case where maybe the stats don't quite tell the story.
At least not the full story.
Westlake. Now they'll dump it inside for Naring. He'll kick it back out for White. White drives the baseline. Little help. And it is taken away by Hernandez. Hernandez now to Connor Dunley. McAuliffe, he'll shoot from downtown. His shot short, Naring there with 25 seconds to go. Now Dylan keeps telling me he's going to grow.
That's what he keeps telling me, too. And he's only a sophomore.
Yeah. Well, you know, some of them kind of bloom late. Sample drives to the hole.
And he misses.
As
you can hear Coach in the background saying, don't shoot it.
Oh, well, that will end the ball game. The Cascade Christian Challengers start out their season on a winning note. Your final score, the Cascade Christian Challengers, 61, and the Lost River Raiders, 28. We'll pause for messages. We'll take a little timeout, and then we'll be back with the post-game wrap, including a look at the post-game stats right here on Table Rock Sports.
Let me take just a moment and ask you about your vision for your children. What are you seeking for them? What are you hoping your son or your daughter will grow up to be? Highly skilled teaching, a thorough curriculum, art, music, science, athletics, encouraging relationships, all of these and more are part of the community at Grace Cascade Christian Schools, where all of our children feel that they belong.
Being able to mentor them on the football field, to push them in the classroom, and ultimately, most importantly, is to share Christ with them.
From the moment you enter the court. We're there to serve, make sure we're creating a fair atmosphere for both teams, upholding the integrity of the game.
I chose to be an official when I was a senior in high school, 17 years old. I think it's the best decision I've made. You could play, and you could make extra money on the weekends on the side, and why not?
In life, things aren't scripted. Games aren't pre-scripted. You know, I got into officiating because my father was an official. Officiating was part of our family life. It wasn't just a game.
You get to be outside, you get to like experience the game. It's so much more fun. You can get a lot out of it.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and young athletes who can translate those skills to officiating.
So much of officiating is not necessarily what you do on the court. It's how you conduct business off the court as well. Being an official, sure, it's not easy.
And if it wasn't for those difficulties, I don't think I would be where I'm at, because it helped me become not only a better official, but a better person.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
And it's just been wonderful.
Back here at the Cascade Christian Pavilion, the Challengers prevail by a score of 61-28. The Challengers jumped out early and had an incredible first half. The defense triggering the offense, so points on the break. Austin Maurer, an insane 9 for 10 from the floor for 22 first half points. Cody Reese, who ended up with his share of points on the evening, ended up going really hot in the second quarter offensively. And then we also saw him put on quite a display of defense. I think, roughly speaking, I had him for about at least 4 steals just in the third quarter.
Yeah, I think so.
And then, of course, you know, as you go down the stretch, things get a little loosey-goosey as you give other guys chances to play. And so sometimes, you know, you don't maybe in the final analysis look quite as dominant as what you were to begin the game. But nonetheless, this something that I think should be a great confidence builder for this team. And, you know, you got to start somewhere.
You do.
And they were off to a good start tonight.
Yeah, they really were. And other than the turnovers, which they ended up the game with 14 turnovers, that's going to be too many for the Challenger brain trust to accept over there on the coaching staff. But other than that, really nice game for Cascade Christian. They end up shooting 25 for 47. That's 53%. So they still a little over 50% from the field, 6 for 10 from the free throw line, and those 14 turnovers. For Lost River, they were 13 for 47, just 28% on the night. And they shot 1 for 3 from the free throw line for 33%. And they had 20 turnovers, did Lost River. So good job of that pressure defense of the Challengers. Just keeping Lost River in check most of the night, both from a shooting percentage standpoint as well as from a turnover standpoint. So really good job of the Challenger defense. And then scoring-wise for Lost River, Logan Derry had 2. Nathan Dalton had 4. Grady Dunley with 6. Chase McAuliffe did most of the damage. He had 11, and Caden Hauselick had 4. So for the challengers, scoring-wise, of course, Cody Reese had 18 tonight. Nice job by him, 4 for 4 from the free throw line, and then all those steals and runouts, giving him a lot of opportunities attacking the rim. Cannon Anderson had 4. Peyton Maurer had 2. Landon Hess had 4. Brody Sample with 2. And Austin Maurer tonight with 29 points for Cascade Christian. So not quite a 30-point game, but pretty darn close in his first outing as a sophomore. Daniel Nearing also had 2 points off the bench as well for Cascade Christian. And as I said, they ended up shooting 53% on the night. And you shoot over 50% on the night, you're going to win a lot of basketball games.
Yeah, unless you're one of those crazy Loyola Marymount track meet types of games. Yeah. And those just don't happen anymore. But usually with the defense that the challengers play, they shoot 53%. They'll win nearly all their ball games.
Yeah, you shoot 53% and you force 20 turnovers. That's the other thing. So, defensively pretty good. I'd say offensively for the challengers, they're going to be upset with the 14 turnovers. They're going to be upset with that a little bit. There was some sort of unforced errors on the court that we saw tonight. But you know what? The good news is they're going to have the film now that they can go back and look at and see exactly where they need to make those improvements. And you always see teams improve a lot between their first game and their second game and usually the first 4 or 5 games of the season, especially as they start to settle in. They know who they can pass the ball to in what situations, who they can count on to score points in what situations, and they'll work on that as a team and get better and better as the season goes along.
Absolutely. Well, it was a fun way to start the season. The challengers with a 61-28 victory against the Lost River Raiders. That'll conclude our broadcast tonight. We thank you for joining us and also invite you to support our sponsors that help make all this possible. Don't forget to become a YouTube subscriber where you can see Table Rock Sports Productions on demand 24 hours a day, so don't forget that. For executive producer Joe Brett, cameraman Wyatt Rainey, Mark McLemore, I'm Jim McCoy. Have a great night, everybody, and we look forward to being with you again soon.